So Dan and I just bought a house, and naturally, at a time like this, I'm thinking a lot about like layouts and furniture and color schemes and all of this. And I'm the kind of person, I assume like many of you, who likes to use The Sims to get those sort of ideas out. So here's my thought. We do a little mini series on the channel where I use The Sims to design my kitchen and my bathroom and like, you know, all these things. Obviously, I'm working with like a contractor and real smart people who know how to design like real kitchens with measurements and cabinets and all of that business. But we can just daydream and brainstorm in the game. So that's my plan for today. I want to try and design my kitchen in The Sims. So this is what my kitchen looks like right now. As you can see, blank slate. Currently a mess, but has a lot of potential because there is nothing there. So we can do whatever we want. Let me break this down for you so you can kind of see what you're looking at. So we actually tore down a couple of walls, and I think you can see on the photo like where those walls were. The first of which was right here where this wood is that you can see in like the opening in the ceiling. To the left of this, like if you're standing right here in the kitchen, to the left is the living room. And then back here is like a little nook for a dining table. But there was a wall right here separating between the kitchen and the living room. And then right here, there was like sort of an angled island. There was cabinets right here. This is where the stove was, and there was a microwave above it. The fridge was right here. You can see where the outlet is. That's where the fridge used to be. There was some more cabinets here. And then this weird little like corner section was a pantry, like a walk-in closet, basically. There was like a big walk-in closet right in the middle of the kitchen, which is really nice. It's like good storage, but we didn't really like how it looked. And we also don't need that much storage. So we decided to get rid of it, which is possibly a bad idea, but I have an explanation, okay? Just down here, like if you're looking at this room and you're standing in it, to my right, there's a little hallway, and like directly right here at the entrance to the hallway, there is another closet. It's a smaller closet, but in my mind, it's like perfect pantry storage. So we don't really need this, so we're gonna get rid of it. I mean, it's too late, it's gone. We got rid of it, and we're gonna like put straight corner cabinets there instead. Okay, so to catch you up to speed, this is pretty much how it looked before. The scale of this is a little bit off, like this makes it look bigger than it is. I guess maybe it should be more like this. But I think you get the idea. This is also, unfortunately, very similar to the color of the original countertops and cabinets. Cabinets were fine. They were like a cream. The countertops, not my favorite choice. But there was like this big wall here. I wish I could do half tiles because the wall should kind of go to like where the cabinet is, if that makes sense. But there was a big wall there. And then obviously this big pantry right here. We're taking it out. This is the proposed plan instead. Now, I know this is probably kind of weird to look at, so I'm gonna do it in The Sims and I'll show you. We're switching some things around, okay? So remember this wall, she went away. This wall, gone. The appliances, in the garage. The sink used to be right here, gone. Now we've got a blank slate. It's fresh. Oh, I should say that this room like opens up because there's like a little dining nook right here. That's probably important to include. Now we got rid of the pantry, which might make you think, Kayla, that was great storage. Why would you do that? But there's a closet right here. This is a bedroom, this is a bathroom, and this bedroom has its own closet. The bedroom's closet's like that, kind of. I guess maybe it's like that. I don't know. The bedroom has a closet that's like next to it. It's right there. So there's loads of closet space down here. And this seems like a good spot to like, you know, put your extra rice or whatever. There's a closet right there. So I don't think I need a pantry in the kitchen. The idea instead is to have cabinets like straight and cornered like this instead of that like weird, you know, wall right there. The fridge used to be right here, but what we're gonna do instead is put the oven here. We'll do a nice like slide in oven like this. And currently the microwave is above the oven. A lot of houses in Florida do this. Well, actually, I shouldn't say currently. Currently, nothing's above the oven. There isn't even an oven. The oven is in the garage. This is what I mean by that though. Like there's a microwave above the stovetop and then there's like fans underneath it. I have never lived in a house with a range hood. Like my house I live in right now and my parents' house both have this set up. My house doesn't even have like anything connected to the outside. My parents might, but like the microwave just has fans. You turn the vent fan on and it's just a fan. Like there's not any way to like, you know, expel the air or whatever. I've never had a range hood. So the vision, range hood. Then over here, we want to put like a pantry cabinet, like a tall cabinet. It wouldn't have like open glass shelves, but you get the idea. We want to do like a pantry cabinet like that. Next to it, the fridge, there'd be like a cabinet above it, you know. And then next to that, we want to put like a stackable oven and microwave in the wall. So it'd be kind of like this, but like this is an oven and then this is a microwave built in the wall. I don't know how to make that work in The Sims because it's The Sims. Can I like, hang on, wait. Can you not stack it up there? Oh no. Okay, well, you know, imagine that, but it's like built in, okay? Do you see it? Can you picture it? I'm sorry, I know it looks really dumb in The Sims, but that's the idea. Then there'd be like a corner cabinet here, and then cabinet, cabinet. That's the wall cabinets. And then there's gonna be an island, but a pretty big one. I don't know how to recreate this size in The Sims. Maybe like this. Unfortunately, the sink will not be centered with the stove. I know, it is very upsetting, but the sink will be centered with the island. The problem is having enough like clearance to walk around the island, obviously, on all sides. The sink will be like there, basically. And then dishwasher. It will fit in real life, okay? It just sim scale is very off. Dishwasher, and then this cabinet, trash can, okay? Trash can in the cabinet. Never had that in my entire life. That is so cool. But like you open the door and then it's in there. Yeah. Also, look at how cool this idea is. There's like a regular cabinet on either side, but enough space also for like a skinny cabinet on either side of the stove. One where you like put your cookie sheets in, and then the other one for your spices. Hang on, I gotta show you this. So it'd be kind of like this, right? Where you can like pull it out and the spices are in there. I don't need a tall rack for oil. I need space for my spices, but this is where they would be stored. I'm having a hard time picturing the size of said cabinet just based off of this image. So I'll have to keep you posted once I have more details. But any spice cabinet is better than what I have now, which is no spice cabinet. Okay, and then obviously we'd have bar stools right here. The problem with the Sims is that the scale is kind of off because I think we could fit 3 bar stools. This drawing suggests an 84-inch island. And from what I've read, usually you want to leave like 24 inches of space for each bar stool. So 84 divided by 24 is 3.5. We could fit 3 bar stools. We could fit 3.5 bar stools. So we'll have that there. Should I just put another one? Here. There you go, 3 bar stools. I guess this room is like a little bit wider than it is in real life. I think it looks more like that. There's kind of a small breakfast nook over here. We'd have like a little table right there, and then living room, but that's for a different video. So now that you understand the layout, now that you get it, I wanna try and like do the decorative part, right? Because this is just the math part. What can we actually effectively have in here? And then how do I make it look nice? That's what I wanna know. So one thing, we're gonna put wood floors everywhere in the whole house. I like this kind of color of wood floor, like a lighter sort of white oak. I know, it's very LA YouTuber. Don't worry, I'm not moving to LA. I live in Central Florida. But I like this kind of wood. That's too light. I don't like that. Not that light. That's too yellow. Honestly, even that, too light. I'm too picky. No, too yellow, too light. It doesn't exist. The thing that I want doesn't exist in The Sims. I think that is closest to what I want. At least in like the size of the wood planks as well, because I don't want them that skinny. Like, there's too many variables here. This will do. I also want to paint the walls white pretty much everywhere. And then the kitchen. I don't know what color cabinets I want yet. And this is not good because I have to decide. Let me talk this out to you, okay? I am obsessed with like a sage green kitchen. They kind of added it in The Sims, although this is like a little bit more blue toned that I want. I want it to be a little bit more green leaning than this. But the idea of a kitchen that's like a green color with the white countertops, I think is so, so, so beautiful. I like daydream about this. I'm thinking like this kind of color. This is a little bit darker, but also beautiful. Although I don't think I want the gold hardware. Do you see? There's too many things to pick. But I love the look of kitchens this color. Possibly even darker than that, like this color goes even further. But like this color with those wood floors, that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for. And then the white countertops and like a white backsplash, obviously. That's what I'm envisioning. But what if I change my mind and then I want it a different color? I guess you can always paint the cabinets. That's a thing that you can do in the future, but like, I don't know. Is the green just too trendy right now? Is that why I want it? Or do I actually love it? I think I love it, but what if I change my mind? You see what I mean? But I think I'm leaning towards green. If I'm gonna spend all this money on my dream kitchen, I might give myself green. Otherwise, I might chicken out and go white. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm really leaning towards green. I want a green kitchen. Hang on. I don't want a blue microwave. I should probably, let me fix that. It won't be blue. Don't worry. Wait, I'm gonna put some extra cabinets in here so I can kind of like better visualize how the kitchen would look with a wider island and then all 3 bar stools. That's pretty nice. The island is huge. Something else structural, by the way, is like this little corner, because it's pretty much gonna end up like that in real life too. Like the scale of that is pretty much correct. I mean, you can see on this drawing, we were talking like, do we want to do corner shelving? Do we want a cabinet up there? What is the counter space gonna look like? I think that I'd like to have a cabinet up there just for extra storage. And then I'm picturing my KitchenAid there. Small problem, my KitchenAid, she's pretty much this color. Like this color of the cabinet, that's what she looks like. My cabinets might be this color or this color. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think that clashes with my KitchenAid. Something to consider. But she could go right here, right? Like my KitchenAid right there on display. That's what I'm imagining. Why don't we have KitchenAid mixers in The Sims 4? If they're gonna do a brand collab, they should really consider working with KitchenAid. KitchenAid kit. Wait. This might work. I proposed this idea to The Sims 4. Consider it, okay? The Sims 4 KitchenAid kit. I think it's a good idea. Wait, sorry, I'm just fixing my cabinets. Hang on. Why do they have to clip so much? It looks silly. Okay, well, anyway, we're gonna get like a fancy pendant light. I don't know what kind yet, but I want to get like something pretty. Maybe like 2 something pretties hanging above the island. Nothing in The Sims 4 light-wise really speaks to me. Like, I don't look at any of these and think like, wow, I want to buy that in real life. But it's probably gonna end up being something kind of like this, right? Or like, I don't know. But there's gonna be 2 lights, I assume. I haven't really given much thought to the light situation yet, but well, I don't like how that looks. Those are pointy. Maybe this is more like what I'm thinking about. Really unsure about that. Need to give it some more thought. We'll do something pretty though. And then tile. This is where, honestly, I might need your input because I have become obsessed with the idea of like a stacked vertical tile. This isn't super common in kitchens, I don't think. A lot of people don't really do this. Like you might see like the classic like brick way of laying tiles like this. Like this is usually how people would lay subway tile, but I've recently really become obsessed with this idea of stacking it like that. And I like this tile because it's not like all perfectly uniform. There's like kind of some variation in the tiles. Another example, but this is like too uniform. I want it to be a little bit different. I want like a more, I don't want to call it handmade looking tile, but like I want the tiles to be a little bit different looking. This one too, but still the same problem, too uniform. I want it to be like kind of shiny. Embarrassingly, I got this idea because this YouTuber I watched, Shelby Church, bought a house to turn into an Airbnb in Palm Springs, and they did this in their kitchen, and I'm like obsessed with how this tile looks. I love how this tile looks in their kitchen, and I really want it. I don't want to do wood cabinets, but I love how their tile looks, so that's what I've been inspired by. Open to hearing your thoughts. We don't really have this kind of tile in The Sims 4. We have this one, but that is not the vibes. I don't even know how to like recreate this in The Sims if it doesn't exist. But I will say I do kind of like the idea of like the stacked tile instead of doing them like offset from each other like that. I just think it's kind of interesting. Should I put this white wall as my inspiration? That is not how I want it to look. See, it's really hard to do things in The Sims. Okay, and I guess last thing, Snappy's food. My cat food, I'm picturing will go right here. It feels like it makes sense too, right? I don't keep her water bowl next to her food bowl. Cats don't like that. So I'd probably put her water bowl, I don't know, like maybe over here by the sliding glass door. I'm not sure. We can think about that. We have time to decide that part. But anyway, this is my vision for the kitchen. This is the plan. I realize there is a lot of work to do before we get there, but you can picture it, right? you can see it, right? Fridge, cabinets, stove, KitchenAid. What's worse is the real hard parts in like the plumbing and stuff. Like there's gonna be a sink like right here. Luckily there's pipes right there, but this is a whole thing. It's a whole thing, but it's gonna be beautiful. Now just give me a few months and then I'll show you the finished product. I guess I should also show you, there are windows in this house. Believe it or not. I know I have not really shown you them, but there's windows kind of like this, and that goes out into the backyard. There's also windows like over here. They're also kind of like wrap around a little bit over here, but this is like a little breakfast table area. There's space for a small table. I don't know what the table will look like yet. I need to think about that still. I'm kind of thinking like a little wooden round table, but not that small. Maybe more like this size, like a little bit bigger of a round table, but also with 4 chairs, you know? It doesn't look like it fits in The Sims, but I swear it'll fit in real life. They had like a picnic table in here before. The scale in The Sims is just way off. I don't know if it's that big though. Maybe it is. That feels more right size-wise. And you know, you can actually walk around it, so that's a perk. Oh, but I can pick a pretty light fixture, maybe something like that. I don't know, smaller perhaps. Right now, the light fixture there is cute. Really cute. Oh my God, I was looking for a picture to show you. It does not look like this. There is not chickens on it, but it is kind of similar in like style, aside from the chickens with like the lampshades. But that reminded me that right now, currently, I don't know if you can tell from this photo, but there's a ceiling fan up there in the kitchen. And do you see that little thing right there? That like pole for the ceiling fan is a chicken. So obviously I will be keeping that. The chicken stays. But anyway, that is a sort of small look into our plans to redo the kitchen. I feel like I probably rambled a lot more than I needed to in this video. I'm just really excited about the house. I did make a small video showing off more of the house in real life, so I'll link that down below for you if you want to watch that and like see more. And let me know if you like this kind of thing, because I would be so down to like walk you through my plans for every room because obviously I can't do much right now because we're just waiting to like install everything. But like, let me show you what I want to do in the living room. Please, I'm begging you, please. But I guess with that being said, Happy New Year. If you enjoy this kind of video, if you like The Sims, feel free to subscribe to my channel because I post stuff like this every day. And hopefully I have some more house content in real life coming for you soon. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. You know what though? I really want the green cabinets. They're so pretty. I've always wanted painted cabinets too. I just think they look so nice.